Hello everyone, Scottish Lad here and welcome back to Scottish Lad Darts channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing something slightly different, something I've done previously with different things. So I'm going to be doing a tier list or a top 5 list of my top 5 favourite Target Fill the Power tailored darts. And it's simply because, as obviously everybody in the darts community now knows, at the end of 2024 Phil Taylor is hanging up his darts for good competitively. He won't be in the seniors tour anymore. Obviously he's no longer in the PDC, retired a good number of years ago. He just feels that he can't play as well as he used to and play to the standard we're all used to seeing him playing. That's down to a number of factors. Obviously he's getting up there in terms of age, dodgy hip, dodgy legs, kinda, you know what I mean? But as I say, this video is purely for me, Tom, ranking the top 5 Phil Taylor Target darts based on my opinion and obviously what I think of the darts themselves. But without further ado, let's crack on with it. Coming in at a solid number 5, we have the Target Phil Taylor Generation 6. And as you can see here, it is, excuse me, the least machined, over-machined dart I should say, just with that subtle modern twist with the sandblasted rear end. The twin ring grip is really nice and comfortable in the hand. It is very similar to what was on his Phase 5s. And it was the first Phil Taylor dart that was equipped with the Swiss point system when it was just introduced, obviously when the darts were released. The only thing, obviously I say this about every Phil Taylor dart, if you watch my reviews, is the flights are a pain in the backside to actually use. But coming in at number 5, it is the Phil Taylor Generation 6. So obviously let me know your number 5 in the comments, let me know your top 5. Let's move on to number 4. Right guys, coming in at number 4 we have the Phil Taylor Generation 1, which is here. It was the first obviously dart that was released from Target for him when obviously he joined Target, moving from Unicorn. And they were very similar to his Phase 5s in a sense. The only difference was the pixel grip, which was very unique for the time, with the blue kind of coloration as you can see here. And the pixel grip is one of those grips you can get it matted and all the grime and all the dirt and stuff for your hands. You clean it off and it brings that level of grip back just like that. It is great. It was actually the first set of Phil Taylor darts I bought myself to start my Phil Taylor collection. As you know, I've got all the generations right up to Generation 10, which I'm hoping to get very soon. But for the number 4 slot, it was the Target Phil Taylor Generation 1. So let's move on to my number 3. Right guys, coming in at number 3 we have the Target Phil Taylor Generation 7, which is here. And I like these because how unique they look. You don't really see, well now you do, but back then you didn't see many darts that actually looked like that, with the stem set up the way it was and the flights and everything that came with it. Again with that patented Swiss point system, which was obviously very unique for the time. I keep trying to say innovative. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it. But it was new at the time. It was obviously up there. You don't get it with any other dart since Target has patented it. The grip was adequate. It wasn't overly aggressive and it wasn't slippy. It was just right, which I think was great for the darts themselves. But that was my number 3 choice. We're now moving on to the top 2. So let's go and review what my number 2 Phil Taylor dart from Target darts is. Guys, coming in at number 2, this was very difficult to comprise these last 2 because I like them both very much so. But my number 2 favourite Phil Taylor dart from Target is the Generation 2, which is here, which is simply down to the fact of that Quattro grip at the back. Me as a rear gripper, the Generation 1 before it didn't have the grip there, so it was very smooth, whereas this, it made a unique scallop where you're always going to have that very consistent finger placement, and then that stunning blue colour as well just added to the obviously the uniqueness of the dart. It was very visually appealing to the eye. You can still get the Generation 2 from some places, but they are quite pricey as you can imagine. But well worth a look. I've reviewed all the Phil Taylor darts that are on the list, as well as obviously these other generations with exception to 10, so if you want to check them out, go back and check them out. I'll leave them in the description. But the Generation 2 were my number 2 Phil Taylor dart of choice. So without further ado, and finally, we'll move on to my number one favourite Phil Taylor dart, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a very popular one. So let's move on, reveal the number one. Right guys, number one, finally. If you guys know me as a person, if you've spoke to me at all about Phil Taylor's darts or just Phil Taylor in general, I will always say my favourite Target Phil Taylor dart is the Generation 3. The colours, the silica coating, the gold, which is here, it made it pop. It was just very, very different. It was just so different at the time compared to what other brands were doing. The Generation 3 to me are the best Target dart ever made, period. There's nothing else to say about it. I've still got my Generation 3, I still throw them from time to time. I do enjoy throwing the Generation 3 as well. Discontinued, so I try not to do it too much as I don't want to worsen the condition, as obviously I collect Phil Taylor darts, but I do throw them as well, which is obvious. But the Generation 3 is definitely up there with my favourite Phil Taylor dart. Now, let me know your top 5 in the comment section down below, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Thanks everybody for taking the time out your day, your night, your morning, wherever you are in the world, for just taking the time and watching the video. Stay safe out there everybody, and of course, keep on darting.